friends, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood ones, a holly suggestions that obliterates and camouflage the folly. Attempt a mental robbery, executed sloppily. The poppers see this mockery and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Welcome to Middle Path Thursdays. I'm very excited about this. Right now, you might be noticing that this is playing on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wherever else that this plays that I forget. And you may be surprised because Middle Path is exclusive to Rockfin, but that is because I'm just giving you this little teaser so you know to come over to Rockfin and to be a supporter of myself and all the other hundreds and hundreds of really awesome, maybe even thousands of really awesome content creators. If you like Middle Path and Rogue Ways, you probably love a lot of them, and there's too many for me to list. But when you support one of us, you support all of us. So if you are a supporter here on Rockfin and you're watching this, that means that you have access to everybody else on Rockfin's exclusive content as well, and that is awesome. So I'm glad to have you guys here, and if you're watching this elsewhere, I hope to have you on Rockfin because very, very soon I'll be cutting off this stream. But I'll chat for a minute before we get to what's up with chickens and freedom and what they have to do with one another and what we're talking about here tonight. And of course, it's always synchronicity that leads me to my Middle Path topics. I have all these things that I have like lists and lists of things that I want to eventually do on Middle Path. And then the day comes and my brain is like, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, what about this and this and this and this? And then here's this whole show. It just comes together, which is the best. That's the way I love it. So it's good. So it'll be weird. It'll be fun tonight. And before we get to that, I'm just going to share this funny lucid dreaming experience I had last night. So I, from time to time, will have lucid dreams. And I was having this dream where I was just walking and walking and walking. And I was walking to all these different places. I was just and I stopped and I'm like, why am I walking so much? And I turned and my mom was next to me. I was like, Mom, I don't walk this often or this much, not usually. And she goes, really? You don't? I thought you walked a lot. And I was like, yeah, but not in dreams. And I was like, oh, which means I'm dreaming, which means I could do this. And I like jumped to fly into the sky because that's what I usually do as soon as I realize I'm lucid, because that's all I really ever want to do. I don't want to go find out the other mysteries of the world. They'll come to me eventually. I just want to fly while I can. So I jump up and I start to fly and I run into like the ceiling of this place and I'm like super pissed because that's never happened. But I've also never necessarily gone lucid inside of a place. One time I did, and I picked up a pine cone and I threw it and the whole place shattered, which was rad. But apparently I was like trapped in there or something. And I was like, no, you can't get trapped when you're lucid. This is all just gone. And it wasn't. And I was like, what? And I looked around and I was like, I asked nothing. I just asked everything around me. I was like, why can't I just fly? I'm lucid. I'm dreaming. I know I'm dreaming. I should be able to do anything. And something answered me internally and said, yeah, but if you did that, everyone would do that. And then what would happen? And I was like, who gives a fuck? And I looked around and everybody who was suddenly around me, which was a lot of people, were just like flying into walls and posts and like flying all like willy-nilly and getting themselves really hurt. And it was like, you have a responsibility. I was like, dude, fuck that. It was really annoying. So, I'm sure we could analyze that dream a lot and see what it was all about, but it was interesting to me because it was my first ever lucid experience where I did not get to do exactly what I wanted when I wanted, and that was really weird. So if you've had experiences like that, that'd be interesting to know. I feel like I understand exactly what all of it meant and what all of it was, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Also, we just did a meditation. Every Sunday and Thursday of December, we're doing meditations, and today's was rad. Every single one is powerful and awesome and amazing. And I know I can say this all I want and you'll never know until you just come and join us. But there's something to, there's some people who don't really meditate a lot and they're in there with us. And there's people who meditate a lot and they're in there with us. And no matter where level you're at, it's still really powerful. And part of what's powerful about the meditations that I lead is the group. When you have a group and we're all meditating together, you just can't underestimate the power of the group. And the power of the group lets you get deeper than you normally get, no matter what level you're at. This is true of myself leading it and all the people who are involved with it. So that's really cool. Yeah, and then the other thing is you have some sort of accountability. You're like, oh, I want to meditate more often. Well, this is a good way to do that because you have Sundays and Thursdays, you know for sure you're going to have like a half an hour or so of meditation. So that's really cool. And the last thing that's really cool about it is that each of these meditations comes to me, I have decades of experience of all kinds of different traditions and teachers and practices and things that I've accumulated and done myself for a really long time. And so I have a lot of avenues and pathways that my guidance can come through from source and inspire me to lead. For you also, it's always different. It's always unique. And it's often because whatever's coming through for me to offer to people that day is what everybody needs. And that's really beautiful too. So I hope you are inspired to come join us. It's not too late. I can still give you the links to the old meditations, like the one we did today. If you join today, and you'd still get the rest of December. And you can go to rogueways.org and find those there. I'll just say again, another thing that's really cool is it's super cheap. You get like 7 to 9 a month, just depending on how things fall. And it's only, I think, $70. So you can go grab that and join us. And it's really powerful, keep you meditating, get you accountable. And today's was actually like 35 minutes long or something. They're sometimes like 15, 25, 30. They're just different because they're all different every time anyway. So the other thing that's really cool, I'll just mention, I'll stop talking about meditation and the package that I've got for you if you want to join us, is that, man, I just lost it. What was it going to be? I hate it when I do that. I'll say hi to people in the chat while I'm trying to remember what it was. What's up, Chance? Kabir? Nice to see you guys. Everybody's getting themselves back in order. Having naked naps. What's up, Travis? Nice to see you as well. Gordon's in the house, and more people who haven't said hello yet. Way less expensive than therapy and far more healing. Hey, that's true of tarot too, which I also do, and healing ceremonies and meditation. So a lot of the things. Anyways, we'll move on from meditation, and I'll just share a few other things I have going on that I'm excited to share with you about. Similar to the meditations, but way more powerful and cool is, what the hell? Oh, there we go. I thought I lost all my stuff. The One Day of Brightness. And I'm really excited about it this year. I will just say, and it's not like a sales ploy, I'm just saying like tickets really are going really fast. And so faster than any other time. This is our 5th solstice and equinox celebration, the One Day of Brightness. Here at rogueways.org, you can see there's a post for it right here. You could also go to the shop and get it there. But we'll just see what's going on. It's on Sunday, December 19th. Again, it's in celebration of the winter solstice, but it's a few days before the solstice. And it is virtual. It is via Zoom. And people have life-changing experiences at One Day of Brightness. They have new understandings that go deep. They have experiences that they didn't think that they could have necessarily. And just like the meditations, because of the group and because of the intention we all come with, it is super powerful. So I start the day out. I'm a mystic teacher and healer. I bring you a channeled group practice and alchemy to help create the field in which the group will jointly practice for the rest of the day, ground the intentions, and align them with various fields like the Schumann resonance field that surrounds the entire globe and helps anchor us in our intention and uplift us as well. And start out the day that way. Catherine comes in. She's a certified Tao practitioner, and she creates powerful healing fields and channels messages straight from source. If you've seen her on the show, you know exactly what I mean. Super powerful release, very deep. We've got Noriana Diesel coming. She's a gifted coach and teacher of the bodily arts. She's a hypnotherapist. She'll attune us to some subtle energies within our physical body and form and invite connections and conceptualizations that will bring us somatic release and recharge and healing on all levels that will carry forth. These are all skills we can take with us. You know, we get to experience them and learn them and practice them together this day in this really deep field that makes it super easy for us and super deep and beautiful. And then we get to take them and practice them for the rest of our lives, however we want. So it's a powerful, powerful day. And finally, Phoenix Aurelius is with us, and it is going to be so fun. He's going to bring us some personal, alchemical, biodynamic healing. He's a guide. He uses all kinds of healing modalities. You've seen him, of course, on Rogue Ways and Middle Path a billion times, sometimes with his intrinsic data field radionic machine. He also does spagyria, alchemy, and all kinds of things to bring the earth and all its people into a healthful balance. And it's just going to be a wild day. I always like to point out people who haven't done the 1 day of brightness before will look at the time, 10 to 5, and they'll say, wow, that's a really long day. And people who have done it know that that time flies by really quickly. We do breaks. We have an hour lunch break and a couple, 5, 10, 15-minute breaks throughout the day. And so you feel not too rushed or anything, but by the end of the day, you're kind of like, wait, what? It's already over? Every time I'm like, man, it's going to be a long day. And every time I'm like, holy crap, that's already over. So everybody else agrees. We just fall into a little time warp together and we do all of these really beautiful things. And it's just exceptionally powerful. So I hope to see you all there. It's going to be awesome. And I will stop talking about things, except I will say that Brighter You is happening. It is awesome. It is like 1 day of brightness, but extended over 6 weeks. And you do learn and go deeper and find your own spiritual skills that you maybe never thought you had. And so far, our first course, our last meeting of our first course of Brighter You ends next week, and it's super uplifting and beautiful, but it's also super sad because we get really close in this class. And so as deep as we've gone and as much as we've watched every single person in there blossom and pull out their spiritual skills and really deepen in themselves and their understandings, it's sad that we're going to end. So I am creating actually a group, and if you are in Brighter You, or if you're in the meditations that we do every month, you can join that Telegram group and you can be with like-minded people who like to practice their spiritual skills and maybe swap and exchange to continue practicing, because as you learn, that's the best way to continue. So if you're interested in that, I know 100% I'm going to be offering a discount to people who do the 1 day of brightness if they choose to go on and do Brighter You. And there's all kinds of perks that come along with that. Like I just said, the extra group that we're all going to be involved with in helping each other after we're done with Brighter You and beyond. So I will stop talking about that now as well. And that means I'm also going to say goodbye to all the people except Rockfin, because Rockfin is where Middle Path is. It is exclusive to supporters there. And so if you're a supporter on Rockfin, then you can come see Middle Path and be a part of it. And otherwise, I will see you next time. And if you're out there listening via the podcast, there are many tens of thousands of you. And I never see you anywhere but there. And I love you, and I'm so glad you're here. And I do have a way for you to hear the audio of this, but you do have to be a supporter in some way. So if you want to join Locals, rogue.locals.com, you can get the audio of every Middle Path there and download it and listen to it if you're a listener. And you can also get that on Subscribestar. So any tier on either of those, you can get the audio. And again, if you just want to join Rockfin, you can grab the video there as well. So I hope to see you in one of those places if you're a podcast listener. And otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you again on Sunday for our next Rogue Ways. And otherwise, goodbye, YouTube.